Hey everybody, it's on and off the field. It's 6-9 today. Get
It is
it?
6'9".
Get it? It's 6-9. It's June 9th, 2020. What's going on, everyone? It's on the field with Durf fan Dylan. How you doing, Durf, on this beautiful 6-9?
Oh, not too bad. A little hot out, but hanging in there. How about you, Dylan?
Yeah, it's a little hot. I'm pretty sure I've complained about it all the time. This room that I recorded in is just a hot box. It's terrible. It even has an event for the AC, but like nothing ever. It just doesn't. This room is just cesspool for heat. It's god awful. I hate it. But yeah, normally don't have to worry about. I guess it's better than my toes freezing off in the winter when it's like
Yeah.
negative 20 outside.
Very true.
Yeah, I'll take
Very
this.
true.
I will accept all the sun, blue skies, and heat because I'm looking out this window and it is beautiful out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, welcome to the show. If you're joining us for the first time, thank you very much for finding us. We're so happy that you're here. Make sure wherever you're watching it from that you share, subscribe, follow, and like all of the above. Where can they do all of that stuff, Fred?
They can follow and like us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at On Off the Field Podcast. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel for uncut episodes of this show, and you can catch all of our live shows as well as other great content. You can head over to onandoffthefield.com to learn more about the show, as well as where you can find our episodes and charities that we're involved in. And last but not least, make sure to head over to the rtfsportsnetwork.com, as well as their Facebook page, where you can catch On and Off the Field starting next week. 7 to 8 p.m. on Tuesdays will be our new live show. And then our regularly recorded show is going to be on Fridays now from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. So starting next week, that is where you can find On and Off the Field on the RTF. You'll still find us on normally time on Thursdays from 3 to 4 and then 7:30 to 8:30 with our live show. But next week, we're going to be all over the week next week.
I got to spice it up a little bit. Throwing a little bit of that cayenne, little paprika, spice things up a bit. Yeah, we got shifted. So now we're the only live show on Tuesdays because usually we would be following up Sal from To Be Blunt.
Yeah,
and that's a tough show to follow. That's tough. So I'm kind of glad, we get separated. He can have his spotlight there. I'm glad for that. And then, we're going to be on that Tuesday now, 7 to 8. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
So clear up your schedules on Tuesdays, folks.
Oh, yeah.
We're recording right now this show on a Tuesday. That's when we normally do our normal recordings. But now it's going to be live.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very new world, but it's going to be super exciting. Still the same great content that we always bring you. And that content includes the other sports.
Woo!
Sometimes the other sports doesn't make it into the final hour cut that makes it on the RTS Sports Network, but it's always on our YouTube videos. Everything uncut.
Always there.
Always on YouTube. Have to go to our YouTube channel. Just have to search On and Off the Field. That's it. We're the only one there. If you search On and Off the Field accounts on YouTube, we'll show up. We're the only one. Super easy to find.
Just look for the logo.
Look for that sexy logo given to us by Mike Reeves of Twist, another RTF Sports Network show. Oh, Twist and Mike on the Mic is now his other spin-off show off of Twist.
Very nice.
Yeah, Mike on the Mic is a good name. It's a solid podcast name. So good for him. See, I would still probably stick with Moran Talks Morons if we did a spinoff, and I would just complain about things for like a half hour. I can do that so easy.
Yeah,
I'll just fill up half of that time with Chris Sims. What did he say that was stupid today? Yeah, like Chris Sims. Yeah, Nick Foles is his 31st best quarterback in the league going into this season. Apparently, that's what he said. That's his new list.
Oh man.
Oh, Chris. Chris. An enemy of the state, enemy of the show, Chris Sims. We have our first guy that we really hate. Or at least I hate.
Whether he knows it or not.
Yeah, he'll never know. One day, if he just randomly stumbles upon someone shows this to him, he's like, "Hey, they're talking crap about you." Yeah, we'll have you on, Chris. Come on over.
Oh yeah,
we'd love to talk. As aforementioned mentioned there, the other sports. The other sports is pretty active. Nothing new with basketball. That's still going. The 22 team thing down in Orlando starting July 31st.
Yeah.
I still think the other teams that got kicked out with the other 8 teams, I kind of get this feeling they should have their own little tournament. You know how like there's the AIT tournament or something if you don't get into the NCAA tournament for basketball?
Oh, the NIT tournament? Yeah.
Yeah, NIT, yeah. Give them their own little thing to do. They're bored. Just have them go shoot around. Why not? Let's give them something to do. I want to see the Knicks suck a little bit more. Golf is coming back, but they got guidelines. Everything's pretty much coming back except baseball. And this isn't new. I mean, we come at you every Tuesday and Thursday and usually say, "Hey, there's a new proposal out there." And they said no. And it's just rinse and repeat. Because now it was the new proposal, which I believe hit Friday morning, of 76 games and the players getting up to 75% of their salaries, was shot down in like an hour. Not even probably. The proposal got hit and they said, "Get out of here."
That one's a little surprising to me because you would be making more per game.
Yeah.
Like you're only taking a 25% salary hit. Like that's nothing.
I think it broke down to 50% for the season, and then the other 25% was if you played for the postseason. So I think that basically the players just want 100% of their salary, no matter how many games there are. I felt like 76 was a good middle ground. I thought 76 was fair. I thought anywhere from 70 to 80 was gonna be the number someone agrees to, but they tried taking the players' money away, and they said no, which is obviously the stalemate that we've been stuck in for weeks.
Yeah. I mean, the games they're gonna keep getting lower and lower games per season the longer they wait. So they're just gonna lose money. Everyone's gonna lose money in the MLB after this shenanigans.
At this point, I someone said the math on Dan Patrick, I believe, or maybe it was something else I was listening. It's usually my go-to is Dan Patrick, but somewhere else they said if they do not have Major League Baseball this year, if they just literally can't agree on anything, whatever the case may be, baseball will have gone on until next season. They just pick up normal next season. Will not have played for over 17 months. You really want that?
Wow.
Baseball's already in a tough spot because it's already hard to watch. It's become slower. They added the replay. It's not as exciting. They have all these new pitching rules that just slows everything down. People complain about baseball for a long time, and now you're going to just possibly have the chance of not even playing a season. That's really what you want to do.
Yeah, and that's just weird. I just had a thought though. If for any chance there's an MLB player listening to this show or anyone associated with the MLB, do we not remember what we were dealing with the MLB 2 months ago or 3 months ago now? The Houston Astros scandal. And we all want every MLB pitcher to be an Astro person. Like we knew it was going to come, and like they were all worried about it and everything like that. So why are the players not getting on board for that? Like, why are we just sitting around? Oh, I want more money. No, get out there and play.
The Astros are secretly behind this strike sort of thing.
Probably.
The Astros are spearheading this. They got this guy. They got this guy named Azo Jotuve, and he's like got a mustache on. He's like sitting in the corner going, "Guys, we shouldn't take this deal. Yeah, no, this is a bad idea." Yeah, let's listen to that guy. I don't know what team he plays for. Yeah, that guy. Let's not accept this one, and we'll just not play a season. Apparently,
maybe he was like banging trash cans in the back corner, like giving signals, like "Don't take it, don't take it."
Yeah, it'll be 3 bangs for no, 4 bangs for yes. That's what everyone wants, though. Even if I don't care if the season's 20 games long, as long as in those 20 games the Astro players all end up on IR with concussions and broken arms, and yeah, let's go for it. I would love anything at this point. I think most of America would agree, and now the anger is starting to boil over from fans and just from people in general. That every other sport can figure this out. NASCAR just said they're going to allow a limited amount of fans at Talladega and another race. They're even bringing fans back for NASCAR. NASCAR's ahead of everybody.
Yeah,
but baseball's over here and they can't figure this out at all. It's just sad. It's really
Which
sad.
is insane because that's got to be the only sport that doesn't have a salary cap, right?
Yeah, it's not the salary cap they have. Like it's based off a region or something. However they do it. I never looked into the math of that.
Right, and I remember we talked about this on our Cooperstown trip.
Right.
And we're like, well, that's why the Yankees always have all the best players.
Right.
But
yeah, I should probably look into that more so I'm more educated on the fact of how that works. But before we give baseball too much of our attention, because they don't deserve it, the other piece of other sports news we have is 2 things for UFC. Just really quickly, they announced 4 July events on Fight Island. It's official. People will be beating each other up on Dana White's private island. Is this not just like the most Dragon Ball Z like tournament, like weird thing you've ever heard of in your life? All these people from around the world are going to fly to this island and fight each other. Just the concept of that just seems like some kind of Dragon Ball Z related, like everyone come here and fight me. Like, I love the concept. Yeah. I can't wait. I kind of want to. I would actually pay to watch that. Maybe. I doubt it, but maybe I'll find someone else who will buy it and I'll go to their house and watch. But
there you go.
The other piece was Conor McGregor. I was going to say shockingly, but I want to say shockingly sarcastically. Shockingly has retired for what, the 3rd time in his career?
Something like that. He's a repeat retiree.
Repeat retiree. It's just like that guy who hates retirement, so he comes back and works for a little while. He's like, I hate going to work. I'm going to retire again. This is Connor.
Yeah.
So he's retired. I mean, you could take it with a grain of salt. Like, he's going to be back, right?
I wouldn't be surprised.
He's just going to wait. I feel like the only thing that comes with this is, he retires because then he doesn't need to hang out under UFC rules. Like, he doesn't have Dana breathing down his neck. There's no one's really bugging him within the UFC political forum. He can just do whatever he wants. He goes and trains however he wants, goes wherever he wants, doesn't have to worry about it. And then when he's ready to fight somebody, he's like, all right, unretire, and then I'll fight you in like 3 months, and then I'll win, and I'll retire again. And then I feel like he worked around like the off season of the UFC, like between fights. I don't know how much regulation there is. I don't know all the details, but if he retires, he's just off doing whatever he wants. Okay, now I'm ready to fight. And he just comes in and fights, and then he's gone again. That's what it feels like. I could have that completely wrong, though.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's completely inaccurate or not, but that's kind of the feeling I get from the retirement. And since he just does it. Retired. Hey, I'm back. Ready to fight. Okay, bye. I won. I'm going to take my money and spend it. I'm going to go back home to Ireland and go to the pubs. Oh, I forgot to grab a beer. Was that a Kolsch?
No, that's a Sam Adams Summer Ale.
Oh, okay. I saw the yellow can. I thought you had a Ruby Red on you.
No, I tried it again this year, and I just can't drink it.
Nah, Ruby Red, it's so overhyped. I get it. I get
Yeah.
that people like it. It's Jenny, whatever. But if anyone's ever had a Kolsch, it's like drinking sparkling water. It's like 4%, if that,
Yeah.
and it has almost no flavor. Sorry, Genesee. That's our review of your Ruby Red Kolsch.
That's the one we don't approve of.
Yeah, everything else is great. Keep pumping
Yeah.
it out. Genesee beer, drink it. There we go. There's our sponsor.
There you go.
Haven't gave a shout out to Romig's in a while. We just had lunch there this weekend. Shout out Romig's, best tavern in Rochester.
Yeah.
So that's it for other news. We're going to drop onto NFL news. And the NFL, as we announced, everyone's starting to head back to the facilities. Coaches are back to the facilities. Players are going to be able to do training camp pretty much on time for the most part, I believe. I'm not completely sure about the timeline of a normal season, but it's all going to be done at their facilities. They can't, like, the Bills would go to Roberts or one of the colleges here.
St. John Fisher.
Yeah, St. John Fisher College, but that kind of stuff is shot. Cowboys aren't going to California, stuff like that. But the other part of this offseason that is really messing with Roger Goodell's emotions, because I think he's more angry than anything, Roger had to sit down in front of a camera, and he had to admit that the NFL was wrong with shaming Colin Kaepernick and Eric Reed and anybody that took a knee against injustice in America. And he basically apologized without saying Colin's name, which I believe a lot of people believe that is for legal reasons. He was not able to sit down and say, Colin Kaepernick, we are sorry. There's lawsuits still out there.
Yeah.
So the assumption is that's why he couldn't actually say Colin's name. Everyone knows what he's talking about. And now he says they are going to be doing their best to make positive change in America, and the NFL will spearhead its way into the right direction.
Yeah. I mean, hey.
I mean, he had to say something, right? He didn't really have a choice.
Yeah. I mean, it's 4 years too. I mean, you could say it's 4 years too late, but you could also say we're making change now. We're making positive change. I'm hoping it turns into something real positive from the NFL. It can help their communities, and I just really hope it's positive in the long run.
Yeah, like you said, you said 4 years too late, and when they all started first kneeling, I was against it. I was like, you're disrespecting the flag, but I was all hoorah because I was in the military. Like, this is all you're all garbage people. And then I had, within the month, I had people explain to me, like, the reasons why they're kneeling, why it's not disrespectful, all this good jazz. And I changed my tune. I was like, okay, sorry about that.
Yeah.
But it took the NFL 4 years to change their tune. That just means you're not listening. That means you're not learning.
Right.
That means you're not trying to become understanding of the situation. So they blackballed Colin.
Yeah.
Whether people want to believe that or not. And I loved it because it was one of the Bears players. He came out. Someone asked him about if he believed that Colin Kaepernick was blackballed, and he just straight up said, "Yeah, we signed Mike Glennon." And I saw people in the comment section of that picture of that quote, and they said, "At the time, Mike Glennon was a better quarterback than Colin Kaepernick." You, sir, are full of it. There's not a chance in the world at any point in Colin Kaepernick's career Mike Glennon was the better quarterback. No. But now the conversation shifts to, will Colin get another NFL gig? It'll most likely be as a backup because it's been forever. He has to just get into a rhythm of being on a team again. He can still be athletic, but he just has to get in the rhythm of being on a team and the playbooks. The NFL's changed. When he was in the league, running backs were still a thing. Now it's a pass-happy league. Things have changed already in that 4-year span. So I'm sure he'll get his chance. Some team will crack.
I'm sure.
Under the pressure, because before no one wanted him, and now someone has to sign him. People are calling for it.
Yeah.
I think he should get it. At least I haven't seen Colin Kaepernick. I haven't watched him. Before anyone says it, the training session that they offered him was complete trash. Don't try and bring that up like he ruined an opportunity.
Mhm.
There was like secretaries there to watch that workout from all the NFL teams. That was garbage. There wasn't even a head coach present. So don't bring that up. But he'll get his opportunity. Hopefully someone brings him in. I'd love to see if he can still. I'm sure he's still better than most backups out there.
Yeah.
The Seahawks have Geno Smith. They're lucky with that, but there's a lot of teams out there. Someone has Mike Glennon still, I'm sure. I'm sure he's still floating around.
Wait, didn't he go to Jacksonville?
Did he?
I thought Jacksonville signed him this year.
It could be. I don't know. Let's find out. Mike Glennon. Let's see where he is. 2000. Oh, I don't know.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Oh, there it is. I got a glimpse of it there real quick. Yeah, Jacksonville Jaguars. You're right. Good call.
Oh,
So he's still kicking.
very nice.
So Jacksonville can go get Colin Kaepernick. There you go. That's the perfect fit. But
Yeah.
as we move on from that, we'll get some other news splashes in here. Dalvin Cook says he will hold out from all football activities until he gets a reasonable extension, because apparently he was only offered $10 million a season. He wants Christian McCaffrey money, which is upwards of $15-16 million a season. And until he gets that, he will not play for the Vikings. Now, real quick, Christian McCaffrey got paid because he deserved it.
Mm-hmm.
He played, oh my God, he played like 99% of the snaps on offense, if not 100% of the snaps on offense for the Panthers. Dalvin Cook has missed 19 games due to injury in the past 3 seasons. You tell me a guy who's missed 19 games in 3 seasons should get $15 million a season. The Vikings will not pay him that.
Nope.
He will not be. If he's gonna hold out, if he's not gonna play, then he will not be a Viking. That's the right decision. The Vikings should make that decision. He should not be paid. So I'm just saying right now, in my opinion, the Vikings should not and will not pay him that kind of money, and he'll go play somewhere else.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Just the fact that 19 games missed and wanting Christian McCaffrey money, and it's just like, what are you thinking, dude? Like, quit. Everyone quit being Le'Veon Bell and Ezekiel Elliott. And
he started this. You're right. Le'Veon started this thing,
yes.
and I hate him for it.
And he's garbage now. Like he took the year off. Yeah, but still, like he's still a terrible running back now.
Right?
Like, this whole plan backfired on it, and everyone else is trying to follow his plan. Well, it didn't work for him, so quit following it.
I believe the stat was Dalvin Cook last season averaged 3 yards a carry, and Alexander Madison, the backup, averaged around 4.2 or 4.3 a carry. That's all you need to know, folks.
Yep.
Dalvin Cook will probably not be a Viking by the end of the season. Todd Gurley passed his physical officially, so the trade is now complete. Todd Gurley is a Falcon.
Nice.
Okay. I don't know what doctor they paid to have him pass that physical, because I'm pretty sure he doesn't have a knee. I think he's missing one. But I was told on Instagram by somebody that, hey, people doubted him, but he still racked up like 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns with that bad knee. Okay, but every day he works out, every day he runs, every day he does anything, it wears down just a little more and a little more due to that arthritis. He can't cut as fast. He doesn't have burst anymore. He's gonna have a drop off. If it's not this season, fine. Maybe the Falcons only paid him 1 year, small amount of money, and it doesn't work out. Sure, maybe it does work out, and they sign him long term. That will be their mistake.
Yep.
If Todd Gurley magically has a good season this year, and then they sign him long term, then we have issues, because that knee will not hold up for another 3-4 years. Maybe not even 2.
Right.
My opinion. Maybe
Yeah.
I'm a Todd Gurley hater because I'm a Seahawks fan. I just never liked him anyways. Maybe that's just me.
Yeah, maybe.
God, I hate Le'Veon Bell.
Me too.
Running backs never mattered until Le'Veon Bell decided to be a diva and everyone followed in his freaking footsteps. What a joke. Now everyone has to be paid. But that's all we have for NFL news. If you concur with me, we can move on to our next segment.
Yeah.
Our main segment.
Oh yeah.
And our final division breakdown.
Oh.
The NFC North? NFC North. South. NFC South. I looked at my sheet real quick and looked at the wrong one. God dang it.
Oh.
It's hot in here. I'm not thinking straight. The NFC South.
Yeah.
You know what? It also tricked me because NFC starts with an N, and then South and North are spelled the same, so I went with the N. NFC. So you see what happened? But that's how my brain thinks. It's not It's not a good brain. But it's the one I was given. But the NFC South, the Buccaneers, the Saints, the Falcons, and the Panthers, one of the more exciting divisions this offseason for many, many reasons. And we will talk about all those reasons. And the first one, probably the most exciting one, is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have had quite themselves an offseason.
Oh,
for people they've gained, for people they've lost, for last season in general, where they're going. And we are going to bring in our good buddy, Dan Sullivan from the Infinity Sports Podcast to talk about the Buccaneers. After I click a button. Hey, Dan.
Hey, how we doing, boys?
How's it going?
We're doing good.
Nice.
Sitting here talking football. We're going to talk more football.
There we go. That's what we like to hear.
That's all we do here. Just talk football. So Buccaneers, man, I believe we had you on before talking Buccaneers, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, right after the draft.
Yeah, Durf made me privy of that. That was so long ago. Like I just got done saying, brain's not a good one. I got shortchanged. But after we got to talk about that draft a little bit, and I feel like it was a good draft for the Bucs. They addressed their needs, they did well, and just sitting in this offseason, there has to be excitement. And now they're going to be going to training camp pretty much on time. Are you still feeling positive?
Oh, yeah, God. I mean, how can you not? I mean, like you guys mentioned, the offseason we had is just, I mean, one for the ages. Obviously, on paper, we look incredible. You know, Tom Brady, Gronkowski, you know, re-signing the players we needed to, and Ndamukong Suh, you know, JPP, you know, Shaq Barrett getting the franchise tag, bringing that pass rush back was important, you know. So, and then obviously the draft we had where you guys mentioned, you know, getting Tristan Wirfs was huge, you know, addressing the safety position was huge, you know. So, I mean, I honestly think the sky's the limit for this team. I think 11-5 and 12-4 is kind of like the floor for us, you know. So, I mean, I'm just really, really, really excited for this year. So,
yeah. So, you get rid of Jameis Winston, but then he has LASIK eye surgery because he apparently couldn't see the scoreboard on the field. And I'm just kind of like, how? How do you play NFL football and can't see that far? So, let me go here. So Winston's out. We said Brady comes in to Raymond James Stadium while making a stop at a random guy's house on the way to talk about the plays. So they had quite an offseason, a lot of changing players. But Jameis Winston's also kind of like decided to speak out about his confidence after kind of everything that's happened this offseason. And he thinks that when it's all said and done, he's going to be the best to ever play at the quarterback position. He says it's far from over. How do you feel about that?
I mean, obviously, I think that's a little nuts at this point. I do think we can all agree the kid's got talent out the world. I mean, you don't throw for 5,000 yards and 30 touchdowns on accident. You know what I mean? So, and he's done it multiple seasons now. I mean, his whole career with the Bucs, the guy can throw the football. That's pretty obvious. He just makes awful decisions. I mean, his mental capacity for the game is just so far like away from where it needs to be. And maybe this is the kick in the ass, that he needs, and he's going to go and he's going to be a backup and he's going to learn under Drew Brees and Sean Payton, and who knows, maybe he learns how to be a better student off the field, and it does catapult his game, and it's the catalyst. But I mean, I think right now that's a little far fetched, but you can't knock the kid's confidence. You got to believe in yourself, especially at the quarterback position.
Yeah, that's what I put on my Instagram post after I put his quote up. I was like, I give him a 10 for confidence and about a 2 for describing what it takes to be the best all-time quarterback. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with that.
His stats are amazing. I even wrote a blog post a long time ago just writing about the adventures of Jameis Winston. He's without a doubt the most exciting player to watch. Is he going to throw 5 touchdowns and win the game on his own? Well, maybe, but he'll throw 5 interceptions along with it and make it a struggle. I mean, that's just how he rolls. Exactly.
He was a roller coaster to watch, that's for sure. And to obviously be a fan, it's rough.
I can imagine, but you go from that just craziness, the validity or volatility at the quarterback position. Now you got the guy who has been a constant for 20 years at the quarterback position, Tom Brady.
Yeah, I mean, it's night and day. I mean, we're going from one of the most inefficient quarterbacks of all time to one of the more efficient quarterbacks of all time. And I mean, I think that's going to be the key difference for us. I mean, we weren't a bad ball club last year. We really weren't, and you take, 10, 15 of those interceptions away, and man, that's a lot of wins, I feel like. So even if Tom Brady has a historically bad year and those 15 interceptions, like, that's still great for us.
Great.
Yeah. So I mean, again, I think the sky's the limit. The weapons are just, I mean, they're insane there. I mean, Gronk and OJ Howard are just, I think, are going to be, the Gronk and Aaron Hernandez. Obviously, Bill Belichick, and he used them in his own special way, and things like that. But I think we're going to try to mimic that, and obviously Tom's going to try to mimic stuff like that. And then Godwin and Mike Evans are 2 receivers that Tom's just never had, and that kind of talent. And they're through the whole COVID thing, they were meeting at random high schools here in Tampa and practicing and things like that and getting their timing down and their relationships down. And that was huge. And I think that's going to be huge. And that's just one of the things Tom Brady brings and to this culture that we've never had before. So, God, I mean, we're just so excited here.
Yeah, they brought in quite the interesting draft class along with it. Obviously, one of the biggest concerns that the Bucs had was the offensive line. They go in and bring in Tristan Wirfs, solid pickup in the first round. The other concern was the running back position. They draft 2, one being Keyshawn Vaughn out of Vanderbilt, which is a name I'm at least familiar with. It's not an unknown person like Raymond Calais, not from Louisville, Lafayette, or Louisiana, Lafayette.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. Devontae Freeman's still out there. They've offered him some money. Do you feel like they've, you said it multiple times, super exciting. They have weapons everywhere. They've filled some holes, obviously. Did they do enough with the draft? Are you happy with who they got?
Yes and no. I personally would have loved to see him, address the pass rush a little bit. I just don't think you can ever have enough, there. But I get you only got so many picks. There's only so much you can do. I'm in kind of the same camp you guys are. I don't value running back highly at all. I like Keyshawn Vaughn a lot. I think he's a good player. I don't really see the huge upgrade between him and Ronald Jones that made the 3rd round pick worth it. So when I think you could have gotten another player there that I think would have had a bigger impact. But again, we'll see. Tom Brady does love his pass catching running backs. But I'd love to see Devontae Freeman brought in if it's a cheap veteran deal. I think what he does well, would work in our offense. we're not looking to pound the ball. We're not looking to run the ball 30 times a game. That's just not what we do in Tampa. That's not what Bruce Arians does.
Mm-hmm.
So the more bodies we can throw out there that can catch the ball, I think it's going to be good. So.
Yeah, I definitely think so. And like I think besides like Tristan Wirfs as being, I thought he was one of the top tackles in the draft there. So
yeah, he was my top-rated tackle. Personally.
Yeah, to get them for the Buccaneers to get him at 13, I thought that was a little bit of a steal. I'm not gonna lie there. I like the Winfield. I like the Antoine Winfield pickup for the safety there. I think yes, they could use some more pass rushers, but I think that secondary needs some help too. So I think he's going to be a good pickup from Minnesota. But I think kind of putting this all together, Tom Brady is going to give you probably 8 wins at least, if I had to guess, just because he's Tom Brady and he can manage a team. But what are your expectations or predictions for the season coming up, and kind of where do you see the Buccaneers going this year?
I mean, trying to put all like pure fan bias aside, I really do think like our floor is probably 10 wins. I think that's kind of like the minimum we can get, and like a realistic idea of what we can get. I truly think we're going to go more in the 12-4, 13-3 range. I think we're going to beat up on Carolina a little bit. I know they got Teddy Bridgewater, and I actually really like their ball club a bit, but I just want to see what Matt Rule does first. I'm not going to jump in and 2 feet into that camp yet. I think Atlanta's going to be a better ball club, and they're getting a lot of people back. But again, I just got to see it first. Obviously, our hurter is going to be New Orleans, and I'm hoping this Drew Brees kind of issue, puts a little wedge into that clubhouse and divides that team a little bit. But beyond that, like you said, I think 8 to 9 wins is kind of Tom Brady's what you're going to get from him. And then our team talent wise, I think we can get another 3 to 4 wins. And then, man, if we can get home field, I really think we're the favorite in the NFC. I really think we got a shot to go a long, long way. I mean, obviously injuries are a huge part of it. And the development of this young secondary, I think, is what the key of our whole season depends on. I mean, we got Carlton Davis, Jamel Dean, Sean Murphy-Bunting, all 3 second-year players. That it's going to be a lot of risk back there. But I think they're all really talented. Jamel Dean played extremely well over the last 8 games, graded his PFF's, top 15 corner, for whatever stock you put into PFF, so whatever that, whatever you
take it or leave it. Yeah.
Yeah. He did whatever you say, he did grade out really well. And, he had a great, second half of the season. And so if he can build on that and they can continue to build as a young team back there in that secondary, we'll see. But that's, I think, the key to this whole season. If they can't stop anybody, it's going to be rough. But, boy, I'm excited.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to be excited about. I'm kind of on the same page as you with I think the floor would be 10 wins. I guess maybe my medium ground would be 10 wins. But every time I go through it, I look at this team. We do our official pick by pick on Thursday's live show, but I'd imagine we get somewhere near the 10 win range. I don't know if they go too much higher than that. I like you said about all the other teams. I gotta wait and see it because I don't want to get too excited like we all did for the Browns.
Most
we all know how that turned out.
Exactly. Tom Brady's no Baker Mayfield, though.
No,
that is true. That offensive line is no Indianapolis Colts either.
That is true. That is true. I mean, to be fair, I think they're really underrated. Ryan Jensen's a stud. I mean, I think he's a true stud player. I think he's a true top 100 player who really played well. Ali Marpet's a really good player. I think our issue is going to be at right guard. Alex Kappa, I'm just not really sure. And then and maybe Joe Haig slides into there and gets some time there. But other than that, we'll see. And then Tom Brady does what Tom Brady does. He's going to get the ball out and help our team. So, but obviously that's the issue.
Yeah.
He's never had a top graded O-line in New England either, but it's all about getting that ball out fast. And he's one of the best in the league to have done it for the past 20 plus years. Yeah, so I think Tampa Bay is in a very good spot. I still think New Orleans is going to take the division. Sorry, but that's just my own opinion. But we're going to talk about them in a couple of minutes here, anyways. Well, we thank you for coming on again.
Yeah, definitely.
And
No, I appreciate you having me. It's a good time, man. Like I said, we were on here before, and it was a great time. And this is again, I really appreciate it, guys.
yeah, you're definitely coming back on, especially when the season gets rolling, or if anything interesting happens with camp.
Yeah,
Can't wait.
I'll gladly jump on, man. I appreciate you having me.
Well, we appreciate you coming on, and have a good season.
Thank you. Fire.
Oh, geez.
Whoops.
Every time. That's a trademark of the show right there.
Just cutting them out.
Just
See you
cut them
later.
off. As soon as I hit that button, they have something to say every time. Yeah.
Oh,
well. It's kind of funny. But yeah, Tampa Bay Bucs, they're definitely going to be an interesting team this year. I think high expectations would be one term to use.
Yeah.
Kind of in the same wheelhouse of what we had with the Browns, like I said 2 years ago. So hopefully, it's not Baker Mayfield, it's not OBJ, it's not whatever the coach's name was. I'm blanking right now.
Oh, Freddie Kitchens.
It's Bruce Arians, Tom Brady, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. I think they're going to be a little bit more tempered down there. So
yeah.
Who do you want to talk about next? Who's really burning something in your brain right now? Who do you want to talk about?
So I think the easiest one to go to is the Saints next, with everything that's been going on lately. But I'll get to reason why I think I want to talk about the Saints next once we get through our kind of a little bit of our recap here.
All right. The Saints they really weren't much of anything. You know, they had the Taysom Hill debate.
Right.
They had the Teddy Bridgewater thing going on. And now they bring in Jameis Winston after Teddy Bridgewater moves on. That's really all they had going for them was quarterback talk. But everyone knows Drew Brees is going to be the starter. It's just a matter of who the backup's going to be. Taysom Hill is just kind of hanging out. Teddy Bridgewater has moved on. Michael Thomas is a social media diva. Everything else is nothing. But now you just got ugliness. It's what you don't want.
Right.
You have distractions now in this offseason. And is it a good thing that, Drew Brees comes out, says he'll never agree with kneeling for the flag, stands behind it. A lot of people got mad. A couple of people explained to him, this is why the kneeling happens. He changed his tune.
Right.
And he apologized, which completely made the entire side of the aisle mad. People were mad at first for him not agreeing with the kneeling, and now everyone's like mad at him for like agreeing with the kneeling. It's just two different groups of people. And some people didn't accept his apology. He tweeted back at the president, who tweeted Drew Brees. He's arguing with the freaking president. And here we are.
Yeah.
Their offseason has been very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, for Drew Brees signing an was it his new contract or extension? I don't remember. Anyway,
his new one.
He's coming back.
To go completely new. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. But I mean, like, man, what a story to be like potentially his last year, 20th season. Like, yep, you can tell all his grandkids, I did that.
You were so close to just making it through an entire career with almost no drama.
Right.
And then you just have to. Social media, such a pain. No, he never would have said that. No one would have ever said that. No one would have ever heard him say that. Probably if it wasn't for Twitter. He did announce that on Twitter, right? I think it was Twitter.
Was it Twitter?
It was an Instagram post.
I want to say Instagram.
Oh, okay. Either way, still social
media.
But for the other part of their offseason, it was their draft.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it. I know this is what's really getting you.
This is where I'm like, we got to talk about the Saints next, because when I was pulling up all this information and like, who did the Saints draft? I could count on one hand, not including my thumb, the amount of picks they had. Who did they get in the trades that I didn't catch that they only had 4 draft picks this year.
The only one I know about is Emmanuel Sanders. And
So
I
the
think they
second
had to
round
give
pick?
up. So I'm not sure what the pick was, but I know they gave up a pick to bring in
Yeah.
Emmanuel. But where the rest of the picks went, no
I don't
idea.
know.
No idea.
But I mean, they get Cesar Ruiz in
Great
round 1,
pick.
which was a
Great
great pick because he was one of the top rated centers in the draft. Probably a little higher than what a lot of draft boards had him, but the Saints wanted a lineman and go for it. They get Zach Bond in round 3, who was projected a top round pick or first round draft pick.
Great
Combine
steal.
kind of dropped him a little bit there, but still a tight end. Why not? But I think the most interesting is drafting Tommy Stevens out of Mississippi State, former Penn State quarterback who transferred there, in round 7 because he is literally a Taysom Hill 2.0.
They might just be expecting Taysom to move this next offseason. They're going to get one more year out of use with Taysom, and then here comes Tommy. I don't know.
I mean, you would hope that Tommy Stevens is going to try for a practice squad, if I had to guess. Hopefully make it. But they really have so much faith in Taysom Hill, and that's what boggles my mind.
Yeah.
Like, he's okay, but he's a gadget quarterback. And then the fact that they put a first-round tender on him when they tagged him is insane.
They love him for some reason. I'm right there with you. We agree on that 100%. I just don't get it. He wants starting quarterback money from a team. No one's gonna do that. Go ahead and prove me wrong, other 31 NFL teams. Prove me wrong that you want to give him $20 million, $25 million a season. Ooh. Do it. I dare you. Because your franchise will not succeed with him. Unless you're literally just going to do, maybe they're going to do a Lamar Jackson kind of offense, but a little bit slower because Taysom's not quite as fast. They're just going to run the ball 60 times and only have to throw it 10, 15 times. Okay, there fine. Sure, I guess that might work. I think it's stupid because the Ravens have shown that, sure, you can win a lot of regular season games, but if you get against top-tier talent and hit the playoffs, it doesn't work. Nope. Is that really a system you want to copy?
No.
No. Yeah, the answer is no there. But
yeah.
For the team that they have going into this year, it's all still put together. As long as Drew Brees stays healthy, which would be my big question, is if Drew Brees does get hurt, who comes in? Does Taysom come in or does Jameis come in? Ooh.
Well, when Drew Brees got hurt last year, Teddy Bridgewater came in.
Right.
Maybe Jameis is the third string quarterback on this team now.
Most people would probably lead towards Taysom Hill being the second string guy who comes in and plays quarterback if Drew Brees gets hurt. But really? I just don't, because I haven't seen it. Let's not act like I'm not insane here, right?
Yeah.
I'm not insane to think that Taysom Hill's not a starting quarterback because he literally hasn't shown anyone that he can be a starting quarterback. He's a gadget player who comes in and throws a couple passes every once in a while for fun. And Jameis has been a starter. It was a weird starter, but he was a starter nonetheless.
Yeah.
I would like to think he'd be the one that comes in if Drew gets injured.
I would think so. I'd be curious to see how training camp plays out for them. And then did the NFL get rid of preseason games this year, or are we still trying to do them without fans?
I think we're still got 4 regular preseason games that are just going to happen without fans. I don't think fans are a thing.
No, I think
at least not yet.
I think we're all watching the NFL from home this year, which, hey, I'll watch it from home. It's football.
Yeah, I don't care. I have a brand new kid coming in. I don't really need to go to
You're
a stadium.
Not going anywhere.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. The Saints will be fun. I think they're still going to win the division. The team is still together.
Yep.
They got Malcolm Jenkins to lead the secondary, which they desperately needed someone with some competence back there.
Yep.
I think I haven't gone through the schedule. That'll be Thursday's show. I think they could still be a 12-4, 13-3 team and make the playoffs, win the division, home field advantage, all that good stuff. It's just a matter if they choke again or not. If they play the Vikings, they're screwed.
Yep.
Dalvin Cook or not.
The Vikings or the Rams.
Yeah, the Rams. Oh, that's so painful.
Oh.
Ugh. Yeah, that's the Saints, and we have a little bit longer to jam. Let's make sure we get to the Panthers, because I think the Panthers are the more exciting team.
Absolutely.
Panthers had an interesting offseason. Cam Newton is no longer a Carolina Panther, and Riverboat Ron got kicked out. They bring in Matt Rule for 7 years? 77? 7 for 70?
Yeah, I think it's somewhere around there. I know it's 7 years. I just don't remember exactly the monetary amount there.
I think it was 7 for 70, but I could be wrong. But yeah,
that wouldn't surprise me.
I believe they did kick out Kyle Allen, right? He went over the Redskins to follow Riverboat Ron.
They traded him there. Yep.
Do they still have Will Grier?
Probably barely.
Yeah, he's there. And then they bring in Teddy Bridgewater to be their starter, and they also brought in PJ Walker from the XFL, the very exciting, lit up the league PJ Walker, which I can't wait to see him in preseason. That'll be fun to see.
That'll be fun to watch.
See if he can bring it up to some NFL talent. But then they also lost Luke Kuechly to retirement. They might get him back in the front office. I've seen rumors that he wants to get a front office job.
I heard a little bit of rumors about that. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, if he has brain issues like concussions and stuff, I don't know if I want him in my front office making decisions. That might be kind of heartless, but that's kind of the reality I'm at. I don't know where he's at mentally, but yeah, it's been an interesting offseason for them, and I think the word. Well, and also Christian McCaffrey got paid.
Oh yeah,
massive payday for Christian McCaffrey, the only guy on that team who deserves it.
Oh yeah,
and other than that, it just spells rebuild. So the conversation always starts there. Where is this team going to end up? Not this year, because expectations are drastically low.
Oh yeah,
where are they going to be in 2, 3, 4 years is the major question.
I could see them. So I think this year, 4-12 is a good goal to set for them for a first year head coach with a entire it's kind of an entire rebuild. There's still some talent on the team, obviously at the running back position, but I think 4-12 is a good record to strive for them. I mean, could be the first overall pick in the draft next year, but hey. We're getting there. I really was surprised that they went entirely defense in the draft, though, for this year. But I mean, I feel like that's a lot of rebuilds. How it happens though, and I just know this from being a Bills fan, but McDermott went super heavy defense his first draft class. So I think there's something along the line there that a lot of newer coaches tend to go defense because that can save an offense from completely falling flat on its face,
right?
During the game. But I mean, they got the top rated lineman in Derek Brown.
Steal.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think I want to say I had him projected going to the Panthers on my mock draft. But yeah, definitely a steal because no other team was going for D-line right off the bat. And then
I guess it's not as much as a steal as it is just the fact that they got him in general. It's just they got their guy, and it's a great guy to get.
Oh, absolutely. But I mean, I really like the second round pick though too.
That's a steal. That's
getting
a steal.
Gross Matos at number 38. That's a steal right there. Holy cow!
That was a first round pick on everyone's draft board.
Yeah,
crazy.
So, I mean, that's right. There's 2 linemen on the defense that you can build around and absolutely build around those 2 guys. But, I mean, a couple safeties, a couple corners, another defensive lineman from Baylor, which, as expected, you would see at least one Baylor, person coming to the Panthers. just with the Matt Rule connection there. But yeah, I mean, build that defense up, and I mean, that's how they got. I want to say that's how they got the Super Bowl 5 years ago now.
That sound 5 or 6.
It was a
maybe
2015 season.
Right, yeah.
So it would have been 20.
I was thinking, because I was going to say 2014, but that wasn't right. So, yeah, I think it was 2015.
I think it's 15. The Panthers.
5 years.
Yeah. But, I mean, Cam Newton was great and everything back then, but that was a defense that shut a lot of teams down. So, I mean, I think that's a great approach for the Panthers to have now. I mean, I think it works for a lot of rebuilding teams. And I mean, I'm just ready for preseason. I want to see PJ Walker on that Panthers team. I want to see what he can do.
Yeah, it might not be against like first stringers, obviously, because it's preseason, but I still would like to see him play. Just see him in that element again, because he was in the NFL before, but not on a great squad. It was Andrew Luck's team, and it was missing pieces back then, whether people want to admit that or not. Any Colts fans want to admit that. Panthers, rebuild mode. It'll be interesting, but that defense is pretty scary. Maybe in another year, but they have some pieces in there that would make some quarterbacks shake. And then we're going to wrap up the NFC South with the Falcons, which the reason we're wrapping up with them is because there's really not that much to talk about.
The who? Who?
Yeah. Who dat? No, seriously, who dat? That's what Saints fans are saying.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I think the only
they had new uniforms.
Yeah, they got new uniforms. That's probably the biggest news out of the Falcons organization this year.
I mean, they got Todd Gurley. I mean, I don't know if there's much to be said there. I mean, if he plays well, then okay.
Yeah.
They still have Julio Jones. I like Calvin Ridley. It's a good two. Yeah. I don't trust Matt Ryan. I never really have. I always thought he just was like maybe a little bit better of a Phillip Rivers. His motion just looks weird. He is accurate. He knows what he's doing. He's a smart guy, but I just never really, I wouldn't want to trust with him being this old. I would not trust my team with that. That's why I'm confused why they didn't draft a backup. They don't really have a future plan right now, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They drafted a punter from Syracuse. That's fun.
Yeah.
Other than that, they got AJ Terrell out of Clemson, which is he's a great corner. But outside of that, I really don't know anybody else. Marlon Davidson out of Auburn. That's where Derek Brown is from. So if this guy played well, it might have been because of Derek Brown.
Yeah.
It might have made him look better than he is, but that'll be a wait and see scenario. This team just had so many injuries last season on defense. That's going to be the one question to see if these guys succeed and keep up with the NFC South this season. Is if the defense can make it out of week 1. They have a lot of talent.
Oh, yeah, they do.
I loved their defense. Their safety they have over there, trained with Cam Chancellor back in the day. I can't remember his name right now because I don't really study on the Falcons that much, but he tore his ACL like right off the bat. He's a great player. That defense has a lot of talent. And if they stay healthy, sure, I'll give the Falcons a bone. Because the offense obviously has a lot of great pieces. But the defense was a major concern last year. It showed. So here we sit.
Yep. Oh, wow. Yeah, Falcons. I mean, I don't know. Disagree with me if you want here. I think the Falcons are like 7-9, 8-8, probably tops.
I'll be interested to go through their schedule on Thursday to really see the competition. Their stat. Obviously, they have to play the Bucs twice. They have to play the Saints twice. They still have to play the Panthers. Well, like you take that with a grain of salt. Like if they have to play the Panthers or not, so maybe split that. I don't know how that's going to play out.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't have an opinion on their record this season. I'd like to just throw them at 8-8 because it's right down the middle. I don't know. I really have to look at their competition, and I think it really does depend on if that defense is going to stay healthy or not, because it didn't last year, and they fell apart, and they gave up 1 billion points, especially in this division. with all the explosive offenses that are in this division. You got to play 6 times. They could really have a rough time if they can't get to the quarterback / have a secondary that's not on the sideline.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, that wraps up our NFC South.
Yeah.
You have to tune in this Thursday from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. We're going to go pick by pick. We're going to really nail down our predictions. We're going to see how that plays out. And then next week is the big change.
Yeah.
Tuesday is going to be our live shows going forward.
We're going to do a live show on Thursday and then again on Tuesday. So everyone's going to get 2 live shows in a row.
Double the fun.
Oh, yeah.
But if you want to join our live show, make sure you're following our page, OOTF Podcast, our group, because we're going to be posting our live show link in there. So you can join in on the fun. It's kind of like our call-in feature, since we don't have the technology to actually call in. That's kind of like going to be our call-in feature.
There you go.
So make sure you're following that group. Make sure you're following On Out the Field on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Make sure you're following RTS Sports Network. Go to their website. Make sure you're following on Facebook and Instagram for them as well. Go to our YouTube channel. Subscribe there. All kinds of stuff to hang out with Durf and Dylan with On and Off the Field. And as we sign off for this episode,
all hail the Jockstrap King.